Okay, Shelby, here's your next assignment. I want to do an introduction here. It says find the product. Okay, so we multiply this. We take x times x. We take x times 2. We take 5 times x. And we take 5 times 2. So x times x is x to the second power. X times 2 is 2x. 5 times x is 5x. And 5 times 2 is 10. Now these are like terms, so we need to add those two. So I've got x to the second. And then 2 plus 5 is 7, so 7x. And then 10. Now what we're doing today is we got to take this and get back to here, okay? I need to take this and get back to here, okay? They're going to give me x squared plus 7x plus 10, and I have to come up with the answer, x plus 5 times x plus 2. Now here's how you're going to do that. So what I got is I'm going to put a 1 right there. And for the GCF, there is none, okay? The reason why is because you don't have a negative and you don't have x on everything, okay? So there's no GCF, so just don't even worry about that on today's assignment. What you're going to do is label your numbers A, B, C. And then I'm going to make this chart, okay? And what I do is I take A times C, okay? So A is 1 and C is 14. So I take 1 times 14 and that's 14 and it's positive 14. So if it's positive 14, we're going to look for two factors of 14 that give me a sum. Remember, that means you add sum that equals the B number. So in this case, that would be 9. Okay, sum equals 9. So here's what I do. 14 divided by 1 is 14. 14 plus 1, though, that's not 9, so we got to go. 14 divided by 2 is 7, so 2, 7. And then 7 plus 2 is 9, okay? So 2 and 7 work. So now I come back over here. 1x squared means I'm going to break that into x times x, okay? 1x, x. Then I put 2 and 7, so I put 2 and 7. Now, the 9 is plus, okay, so the 9's plus, so that means I got to have that be plus, and they'll both be plus then, because on a sum the signs have to be the same. So x plus 2 times x plus 7. Now let's look at this. So if I take x times x and x times 7 and then 2 times x and then 2 times 7, let's see what I come up with. I get x to the second, 7x, 2x, 14. Those get added. X squared plus 9x plus 14, okay? You notice how that is that, okay? So it works. Okay, next, make your chart. And I'm going to take A times C, okay? A is 1 and C is 48. That's 48. It's positive. So I look for a sum that equals 14. 14. So 48 divided by 1 is 48. 48 plus 1, that's not 14. So I got to keep going. 48 divided by 2 is 24. So 224. And 24 plus 2 is not 14. So 48 divided by 3, 3 and 16. 3 plus 16 is 19. I gotta have it be 14. 48 divided by 4 is 12. Okay, so 4 plus 12, that gives me 16. I still have to get 14. 48 divided by 5, that's a decimal. 48 divided by 6 is 8, so 6, 8. Okay, and then 8 plus 6 is 14. So I make my two parentheses, and if I have a 1x squared, that is always written as x times x, okay? Then the 48, I go 6, 8. Now, that minus in front of your 14 means you got to have at least minus 8, and today we'll be finding a sum so they'll all both be minuses. So x minus 6, x minus 6, okay? X minus 6 times x minus 8. Okay, next up. I take A times C all the time. We got 1 and 44. 1 times 44 is 44, so positive 44, positive. And we're looking for a sum that equals 15. So 1 and 44, that's not 15, so 44 divided by 2 is 22. 22 plus 2 is not 15. 44 divided by 3 is a decimal. 44 divided by 4 is 11, so 4, 11. And let's see what 11 plus 4 is. It's 15. Okay, so that works. So 1x to the second is x times x, and then I put 4 and 11. Now circle the sign that's in front of B. So you have to have that be plus, and a sum means they have to be the same. So x plus 4 times x plus 11. Okay, next up. A times C. So I'm going to be taking 1 times 36. That's 36, it's positive. So I will be looking for a sum that equals 15. So 1 and 36. 1 plus 36 is 37, not 15. 2 and 18. Okay, is 18 plus 2 15? No, 18 plus 2 is 20. 3 and 12, and 12 plus 3 gives me 15. Okay, so it's those two. So 1x to the second I write as x times x, and then 3 and 12. So I have a minus 15. My b is a minus, so I'm going to have minus 12 for sure, because that means I have to have more minus. And then on sums, they always have to be the same sign. Okay, next problem. Okay, so A, B, and C. So A times C, so A is 1 and C is 36. So that's positive 36, so I'm going to look for a sum that equals 13. So 1 and 36, that's not 13. 36 divided by 2 is 18. Okay, so it's 18 plus 2, 13. Nope, that's 20. 36 divided by 3, 3 and 12. 12 plus 3, that's 15. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So 4 plus 9 is 13. So I'm good. So I've got 1x squared, that's x times x. Then I've got 4 and 9. So I have minus 13x, so that means we have to have minus 9. And on a sum, the signs have to be the same sign. So I have minus there, I'll have minus there. X minus 4 times x minus 9. Okay, A, B, C. So I take A times C. So A is 1, C is 24. It's 24. It's positive. So if it's positive, we're going to look for a sum that would equal the B coefficient, 14. 24 plus 1 is not 14. 2, 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. Okay, so x, 2, 12. So we have plus 14x, we have plus, so that means we got to have plus 12, and a sum means they both need to be the same. So plus x plus 2 times x plus 12. A times C, 1 times 28, okay? So it's going to be 28, positive, sum that equals 11. So 28 divided by 1 is 28, so 128. 28 divided by 2 is 14, so 214. Let's see if that's 11. No. 28 divided by 3 is a decimal, so 28 divided by 4, 4 and 7. 7 plus 4 is 11, okay? So XX, and then 4 and 7. We have plus 11x, so we're going to have plus 7 for sure, and a sum again means they're both plus, okay? X plus 4 times x plus 7. Next. Last one. Okay, so A times C, so 1 times 55 is 55, that's positive, so we're looking for a sum that equals the B, which is 16. So 155, no. Decimal, 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 and then 11, so 511. So I take 11 plus 5, and that is 16. So XX, 5, 11. Okay, so we have minus, that's a minus, so we're going to have minus 11 and minus 5. Anytime we do a sum, anytime we look for a sum, those signs need to be the same.